right, I want to revisit this issue. Why are tax cuts always bad and government spending is always good? Okay, why do Nobel Prize winners believe that nonsense? Joining us now to talk about it, Steve Forbes, Forbes Media chairman, editor-in-chief, and Kevin Hassett, former Council of Economic Advisors chair. Gentlemen, welcome. Kevin, you're kind of the farthest away. It's like the same old stuff, you know? I mean, I don't want to get into personalities. It's really about the economic principles. But as Ronald Reagan said, and we played the clip earlier in the show, over 40 years ago, why is it that if you get to keep more of your own money, that's bad through tax cuts, but if they spend your money, if governments spend your money, that's always good? How, in this day and age, how can people still believe that nonsense?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these guys, but you have to remember that the Nobel Prize is itself a partisan thing. That if you want to get a Nobel Prize in economics, you have to write a paper that says that markets don't work, supply-side economics doesn't
Right.
work. And if you do that, like Bob Schiller, Mr. Irrational Exuberance when the Dow was at 5,000. So these guys are partisans right now. Some of them are my friends. The thing that I would say, though, that's disappointing as an economist is, okay, we got all these great brains in one room. Why don't they write a model down that shows me where they get their effects from? Why don't they actually say, okay, well, here's what the policies are and here's what the effects of the policies are, and then we could sort of unwrap it and think about it. But instead, they just say, oh, we're just supposed to listen to them because they're smarter than us. And I think that's someplace that they really shouldn't have gone.
So, Steve Forbes, the other thing is, I mean, there are facts in this debate. You wouldn't know it. They don't cite facts. I read their letter. So Trump's basically saying, I'm going to reprise my policies of the first term. There may be some bells and whistles, but fundamentally, I'm going to cut taxes. I'm going to reopen the spigots and so forth. And Biden presumably is going to raise taxes and keep on spending. So you have data. Okay, one model showed low inflation, the other model showed high inflation, and the Nobel Prize winners took the high inflation model and said it was low inflation. I mean, you can't. Don't you think people see through that? Ordinary folks read that if they care. They see right through it.
Well, maybe economists like those should have to read Alice in Wonderland and get an understanding of where they're at.
Oh.
It's all about control. It's all about they trust themselves more than they do the people. And people do things, entrepreneurs do things without permission. And that's why they always want to regulate. They always want to get their paws on it. They always want to say, we got to have more say about what you do. And they're going full bore with this modern socialism. Every agency's gone bonkers in trying to control businesses, which big companies can cope with, but small companies, this is a killer, which bodes ill for the future if this crowd gets back in again.
You know, Kevin Hassett, look, you wrote a book about this, Stopping the Drift Towards Socialism. And, these big shot economists are happy to drift towards socialism, even though they don't exactly put it that way. But what Steve Forbes said is true, and it always struck me, and Ronald Reagan did this decades and decades ago. How about this? You and I will spend our money more wisely than some unelected government bureaucrat or regulator, or even, for that matter, a professor. We know, and if we don't know, we'll learn. Okay, that's the way life works. You even learn from your mistakes. They don't have that in their models, and that's so disturbing to me.
Right, they don't learn from their mistakes, and the clip you played from President Reagan was exactly on point, because these same economists, to a man and woman, they put out a letter saying how wonderful Biden's policies were before inflation took off. And so, you would think that maybe they would write a letter apologizing for, giving cover to a policy that ended up creating so much misery in our country. But instead, they double down and say, oh, Biden's wonderful and Trump is not. The thing that I think is interesting, the last thing about this letter to me, Larry, is that when you look at the way the mainstream media is covering it, right, they never mention that the first signatory is the husband of the Treasury Secretary. It's kind of a relevant fact, right, that this guy's organized his buddies to support his wife. Now, the fact is that's very relevant, but the reason it came out right now is that President Biden's going to be quoting it in the debate tomorrow night.
Ah, good point. I will say at a dinner party, when Christine Lagarde left the IMF as executive director, I sat in between Janet Yellen and George Akerlof. I might add, both lovely people personally, and he's a very charming man for all the disagreements, and I've never personally had any problem with Ms. Yellen, just that we disagree. She's another one now, the Treasury Secretary. She was in the papers today saying that Trump's tax cuts are responsible for all the deficits and borrowing. Really? Is that true? Really?
Really, look at the revenues up, and look at spending higher than it was during the COVID crisis. Tells you all you need to know. But why let facts get in the way? Just say it and pretend it's true. And like Alice in Wonderland, well, it is because you say it is.
I want to see Trump smoke Biden out early. Okay. Now, maybe Biden will surprise the whole world. And I think the way to do it, I mean, he can certainly talk about tax cuts versus spending, and perhaps he will ask Reagan's question. But I'd like to see him talk about his tax-free tip proposal. Okay, just kind of spring it out. What do you think about this, Mr. President? This is from one president to another. What do you think? Would you join me in calling for tax-exempt tips for waitresses and caddies and Uber drivers and the whole gig economy, which probably numbers 10 million plus? I'd love to see that. Smoke them out. What do you think?
Well, they might then get rich, and that's bad.
Oh, no,
they might get more prosperous. The amazing thing is, under Trump, the evil Trump, lower-income people had a bigger rise in income than they did higher-income people.
Yeah.
The gap was finally closing when you have a vibrant, free economy. But these people, again, it's about control. They call them the cult of Keynes.
Well, the cult of Keynes. Kevin, look, you're the keeper of all these data points. I was reading today, some analysts put out in 2018 and 2019, the 2 years after the Trump tax cuts, real average median family income went up $5,000 each year. I saw that $5,000 each year. Now, that's same comparison, I think, has fallen $2,000, slightly more than $2,000 during Mr. Biden's tenure. So what do you make of that? Is anybody going to talk about that? My guess is Mr. Trump will have some numbers.
Yeah. Well, this is why he will definitely have some numbers. And I got to say, as an aside, that I spoke to the president recently, and he's really serious about this tip thing.
Yeah.
If he is elected, it's going to happen. 100% is going to happen. But the thing, again, think about the lack of intellectual curiosity. So income inequality goes down, real wage growth goes up because of the corporate tax cuts that you helped us design, Larry. And the fact is that we got all these Nobel Prize winners that aren't even scratching their heads about, geez, why are real incomes going down under Biden, and why did they go up under Trump, and why is it all of a sudden going to reverse? The thing that I would say to Biden is that real wages shrunk for 8 years under President Obama, and they shrunk for 4 years under Biden. So Joe Biden, for the American worker, you're 0 for 12. You're 0 for 12. Why should we give you another chance? And I'd like to see a Nobel Prize winner give me an answer to that question, and I don't think they'll ever try.
And Steve Forbes, at the end, it's such an important point. Again, average families, ordinary working folks, go to work every day, have to worry about take-home pay, kitchen table issues, gasoline, groceries, and so forth. They know this. Like, they know which was better, 4 years ago or a few years ago. They know this, 4 years ago or last year. I mean, again, there's a wisdom to ordinary people that experts will not acknowledge, will not permit, will not observe.
That's why you find in the polls people who say they themselves are doing well, they're okay, have a dismal view of the future. They have no faith that we know what we're doing. They have no faith the government knows what it's doing. They fear inflation may come back again. So even if things are starting to improve, they don't believe it's for real. And when you look at the numbers on investment, what does that tell you? Faith in the future is lagging.
Yeah, the consumer confidence numbers are so bad, but I think that's confidence in government, or in this case, a lack of confidence in government. I think that's where all that comes from. All right, gentlemen, got to get out of here. Nobel Prize winners. I'll give you a Nobel Prize, each of you. You have your own Nobel Prizes. Steve Forbes, thank you ever so much. Kevin Hassett, thank you. Good to see you.